Mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Destur, madad ya SahibulSaif. Close that door. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Destur, madad ya SahibulSaif. A night like this, you're bringing your children because you don't want to leave them, because you have so much love for them. Who gave us that love? Who gave us that love? By ourselves, by reading, by nature? Who is the creator of that love? Who is that one that has his name as the one who is love? What do we understand from that love? What do Muslims understand from that love? What do Muslims understand to sacrifice the one that you love the most for the sake of that one who is the creator of love? Where is a Muslim to understand that even his love does not belong to him? One night, say around 4,000 years ago, for the sake of argument, our great-grandfather, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, that we belong to his nation, he had a dream. His son, Ismail alayhi salam, was born 7 years before that. He was asking, not for his own sake, for a son. Not because he wanted a son to love. Like so many of us, when we have children, we love them so much, but in the name of that love, we can destroy them too. We say what we want to say, we do what we want to do. And Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a son. So many years he was with his wife, Hazrat Sarah. Later he married Hazrat Hajar. And he's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a son. Look here, there's nothing to look over there. He's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a son. Why? We ever asked the question, why? Tariqat is supposed to make you to think, to ask the question, why? You don't just do, you don't just say. You must know the meaning. The meaning must be clear to you. Quickly, come in, sit. Later we enter into another sohbah because murids need to wake up a little bit. He was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a son because Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam at that time, he was the only one who was knowing his Lord. He was the only one who was worshipping. He was the only one. Do you understand? The only one? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had only one friend that time. One. Which is why Ibrahim Halilullah, that is his name, the friend of Allah. When Namrud was preparing to kill him, and through that technology, the catapult, that shaitan whispered into Namrud's ears to build that technology to put Namrud, to throw him into the air, into that fire that was so big that no one can come near that fire. That when he was thrown into the air, and the angels of Allah, they were all crying in the universes, in the paradises, everywhere they were crying, begging Allah not to destroy him because he is the only one left alive in this world that is remembering his Lord. And when the angels came to him and offered help, he just said, Hasbinallah wa ni'mal wakil. My Lord is enough for me. Ibrahim alayhi salam asked for a son so that that son can continue his work to remember Allah, to bring faith to this world, to spread the light of faith and belief. When the majority, they are turning their faces away from Allah in ingratitude, not being grateful. That is the meaning of kafir, by the way. Not so much unbeliever, but the one who is not grateful. He was asking for that reason. Only for that reason. He was getting old and yet no one, nothing, none from his zuriyat to continue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered his prayer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him his firstborn, Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam. The meaning of Ismail, meaning what? Allah has heard. Allah has heard your prayers. And when he made a promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he made that dua, he also promised. He said, Ya Rabbi, grant me a son to continue your work, so that there is at least light and belief in this world. Ya Rabbi, if you do that, I will sacrifice the thing that is most beloved to me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him that wish. Hazrat Hajar gave birth to Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam. Soon after that, Hazrat Sarah, for whatever divine wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared her for, saying, I cannot live with them. They have to be out from here. And Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam took his beloved wife, Hazrat Hajar, and took his beloved firstborn son, Hazrat Ismail, and he brought them deep into the deserts where there was nothing, no one around. It was unknown even to him, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. And he left them there. It's a long story. It is not a story. That is real. That continuing for over 1,400 years, the Muslims have not left that tradition of going to the Baytullah. That all other nations, it is obligation for them to perform the Hajj from the time of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. When that Kaaba, it was Baytul Ma'mur, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took from the paradise and He put it there. The Hajar Aswad was not a stone, it was an angel that is recording everything that was there when Hazrat Adam, Hazrat Hawa, they were in paradise. In the flood of Nuh alayhi salam, that Baytul Ma'mur, it was lifted, and the ship of Nuh alayhi salam went around that spot where the Baytul Ma'mur was, the original Kaaba, coming from paradise. It was made of jewels. It's not made from natural materials that is from this world. The ship of Nuh alayhi salam circled around 7 times to make a tawaf. And from the time of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam until the time of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hazrat Ismail, it was hidden. We are from that nation that rebuilt the Kaaba. Are we understanding that? Are we understanding the role of Millat Ibrahim? That after 7 years that Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, he was born, that Shaykh Efendi said, may Allah raise his station. Amen. He's saying 7 years of age, your son, he is the most beloved to you because he looks at you with a full love and full innocence. And whatever you do, he's also copying. He's becoming a copy of you. And you're looking at that and you're looking at yourself. In a night like this, Ibrahim alayhi salam had a dream. And in that dream, a divine voice saying, Ya Ibrahim, fulfill your promise. Don't think that Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he did not fulfill his promise. When Hazrat Ismail was born, he already sacrificed. Some accounts, they say 1,000 sheep, because Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave everything to him. He had that dream, divine voice saying, you have not fulfilled your promise. You have not sacrificed what is beloved to you. So he sacrificed when he got up. Some they say sacrificed 1,000 oxen. Some they say 1,000 camels. Doesn't matter. He sacrificed 1,000 for the sake of Allah. Fire came down from paradise, took everything, and brought it up there. Still he had the dream saying, fulfill your promise, Ya Ibrahim. So he took 1,000 Arabian horses, pure bred, and he slaughtered them too, for the sake of Allah. Fire came down, took everything. Still the voice saying, fulfill your promise. And in a night like this, just like this, the voice came to him 70 times in that night. Sacrifice Ismail. We are from the Millat Ibrahim alayhi salam. He woke up. He went. He told Hazrati Hajar, I have to go somewhere with Ismail. Dress him up properly. Put nice clothes to him. Putting the surma. Dyeing his hair with henna. Huh? That some parts of the world, that's what they're doing to the animals before they cut. You see, Millat Ibrahim, we are descendants. We are the only ones who are holding on to the real traditions, all the way from 4,000 years ago. Are we understanding what Allah has given us that is so valuable and so precious that even His nations, they are forgotten? And how much they love us because we are a nation of witness, and we are the nation that is bringing back the sunnats of the past prophets. Putting the henna, putting the surma, the kajal, wearing nice clothes. Ibrahim alayhi salam took knife and rope, started walking. Shaitan came, whispering to Hazrat Hajar, saying, where do you think your husband is leading your son to? He's saying he's going to visit someone. Why would he do that? He's bringing rope and a knife. He had a dream last night. And the dream says to cut the child. You believe that? The Hajar is saying, my husband is a prophet of Allah. If his Lord tells him to cut his son, his firstborn, I have no say in this. Get away from me. Throwing him away. Shaitan then went to Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam. Before he was walking in front, now he was walking behind his father, saying, you know where your father is taking you? He's going to cut you. My father is the prophet of Allah. Whatever he wants to do to me, as Allah commands, I'm willing. Get away from here. You must be Shaitan. Shaitan then went to Ibrahim alayhi salam, trying to trick him. Ibrahim alayhi salam saying, get away from here. Ismail alayhi salam taking some stones, throwing it to Shaitan. Just like this, like in the morning time, when we're going to call for the azan and the takbir for the Eid prayer, that time. Put yourselves back to it. This is real. And say to yourself, whatever that I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, the most, that He gave to me, is not from me, but He's giving to me as a trust. Am I willing to give it back to Him when He asks? Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he came to the spot. Taking his son, taking the knife. And Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam said, Father, you are hesitating because you are seeing me and I'm seeing you. I don't want to be disobedient to you. Take that rope and tie my hands because I may struggle later when you cut me. Taking the rope, Hazrat Ibrahim tied his hands and his feet. Looking at his son looking, says, Oh my father, cover my eyes so that I don't look at you. That way you can cut me. Covered his eyes. Hazrat Ismail saying, Oh my father, still you are hesitating because you are facing me. Go from behind and cut. Hazrat Ibrahim went behind, took the knife, and he cut his son's throat. He cut it. It did not cut. He cut it again. It didn't cut. And every time he drew that blade, he died. His heart became perished. 70 times he pulled. 70 times. Nothing happened. And in his frustration, he threw the knife, and the knife landed on a rock, and the rock is just cut by the knife, just like a bread, to show how knife was really sharp. And at that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the ram that our forefather, Hazrati Adam alayhi salam, when the order was given for his two sons, the Shariat to marry from the twin that is not from them, and Habil and Qabil then each presented their sacrifice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because just like today, one group saying, is not fair, I don't like that ruling. And Hazrat Adam is saying, order came to me then take whatever that you are, that is valuable to you, that is precious to you, that you've worked hard for. Sacrifice that, and we see which one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take. Hazrat Habil took the most beautiful, the most biggest, the most healthy ram, presenting it for the sacrifice, and Qabil saying, I planned so much wheat, so much of these things. What Allah is going to do with that anyway? He's not in need of food or drink. Taking just whatever that is there. Whatever that is there. Leftovers. Not from what you want, but if you have a little bit extra here and there, like majority Muslims, Qurban coming once a year, they're not presenting the best. Oh, if I have a little bit stored here and there, I'm going to put. If I don't, what Allah is need for Qurban. Exactly. Same kind of attitude that Qabil had. Giving it, the fire came down and took the ram. It did not take the wheat. 3 times, not once, 3 times. Because every time Qabil is saying, this is not fair. Okay, do another time. Taking the sacrifice from Habil. Not fair. 3rd time, taking it. 4th time, he took his own sister and they ran off. Later, before he did, killing his brother Habil. So Hazrat Ibrahim saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Hazrat Ismail saying, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. The angel came down, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd, bringing that ram from Hazrat Habil, bringing it down to him to say, now you cut this and it is accepted. That ram was cut. That ram's head, it was put on the corner of the Kaaba. Later when it was built, and it was still there until the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. It was there. There was a sacrifice that was asked for. And the Muslims are the ones who are continuing this tradition after 4,000 years continuously. Allah is not in need of that sacrifice. We are in need to sacrifice it. We are in need to know who our Lord is, what power He has. We are in need to know that we're not going to worship anything except for Him, not even our beloved ones. You understand? And even our beloved ones, when we're sacrificing in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will return that with so much more that we are just going to be shocked and we're going to say, all praises are to you, nothing else. That is our takbir. That is our takbir. And 1400 years ago, is the time, correct? In the Hujjatul Wada, correct? That the Holy Prophet ﷺ, for the first time, is making the full Hajj, bringing back the traditions all the way from Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam. Standing there and speaking, and assembled before him 124,000 Sahabis. He gave his last sermon, and he's ending it by the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, And today, I have perfected your religion for you. Your religion, I have perfected it. And I've chosen Islam to be your religion. The Eid is because of that. Because the Qurban, the Hajj, it is the fifth pillar in Islam. It is the completion of our religion. That began with the Shahadat. And it ends with recognizing there is only one Allah. Nothing is to be worshipped except Him. And all praises is for Him. Because after the Hajj, what else is there for us to complete our religion? There's nothing. But the Qurban, our Hajj is not complete without that Qurban. But that Qurban is just a substitute. It is just there to substitute what it is that Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam loved most. What do we love most? That animal that we're going to cut tomorrow, inshallah. That animal that we're going to cut tomorrow. It's supposed to symbolize what we love most. What do you love most? Don't say your husband or your wife or your children. The one that you love most is yourself. Yourself. So that is symbolizing that after our shahadat, we pray, zakat, we fast, we finish the Ramadan. Where we're sacrificing our senses. Now it is our existence, our nafs, finished. It has to be now the fifth, the final, the completion of our religion now, where we cut that animal to say, this year, today, my nafs is finished. Especially if you go to the Hajj. You're going to the Hajj wearing that ihram to run away from this dunya. To finish as if you are dead, you're just walking. You're wearing the ihram. That ihram is a funeral shroud to say, I'm finished, I'm dead with anything. The whole world can be what it is. It doesn't matter to me, I'm dead because I'm here returning to my Lord. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. That I'm going through all the rites and the rituals of the Hajj, again to run away from this world, to run from my ego, to run from my nafs, to run away from shaitan. You are throwing that stone not to shaitan. You are taking the shaitan characteristics from yourself and throwing it out. Taking that anger, throwing it out. Taking that jealousy, throwing it out. Taking that arrogance, taking everything, throwing it back to shaitan. It is not from us. Like Hazrat Hajar, we are just relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Hazrat Hajar, she just gave birth to a baby. She put Hazrat Ismail down and she ran from Safa to Marwa, Marwa to Safa, running, looking to see, asking Allah for mercy, only trusting in Allah. But again, showing us, she didn't just sit down and ask for something to fall from the sky. She didn't. She ran. She had just given birth and she was running. Because she had to drink water, she had to eat something for the milk to produce. This is real. And she was running from hill to hill, and she heard Hazrat Ismail screaming and crying and crying and crying, and he hit the earth with his foot, and the water came out. And that is the water of Zamzam that for over 4,000 years is continuously giving. It is a well, but it's giving to millions. If billions are going to drink, it'll never going to be finished. Today people are discovering that Zamzam water, it is a very special kind of water. You cannot find it anywhere else. The Zamzam water has the ability to change bad water to become good. The Zamzam water has the ability to change our physical bodies to become more clean and more pure for the sake of Allah. When she started drinking, asking Allah more for the food, voice coming saying, drink that water with the intention to take your thirst away, it will take your thirst away. Drink that water of Zamzam with the intention that when you drink it, it will take your hunger away, it will take your hunger away. Drink that water of Zamzam with the intention to give you health and cure, it will be health and cure to you. Believe in that. Which is the tradition in these days now, to take that water and to drink. This night, just like this, it is happening. For the believers, we should be thinking. We should be thinking about that Qurban. We should be thinking, what have I offered to sacrifice for the sake of my Lord? Can I say, I stopped thinking these wrong things. I stopped doing these wrong things. For the sake of this year, for the sake of these months, for the sake of these days, I'm pulling myself back from this dunya. Or am I just like those ones, going to the Hajj, but still carrying the whole dunya on their backs? When they're making tawaf with their dunya and with their nafs and with their ego and with shaitan. When they're running the sa'i, they're still doing that with the ego, with the nafs, with the shaitan, with the hawa. They're throwing that with so much passion. The jamrat. Sometimes they even take the shoe and they throw, thinking over there is shaitan. No. Shaitan is inside of you. And the sacrifice. The Hajj is not going to be accepted if you don't make the Qurban. We made the intention. Arafah night, like tonight, where it is the meeting of Allah with His beloved ones. If we're not running away from dunya and being with Allah on the plains, on the mountain of Arafat, we have dunya in our heart while we say we are with Allah. On the Arafat night like this, we're just going to be busy with our own selfish ego, while Allah is saying, I am here for you. Ask, what do you want? What do we want? Majority is just going to ask, same thing. Eating and drinking, meaning this world. We are following SahibulSaif. What do we want? What is He teaching us to want? Allah. Knowing our way to Allah is through the Prophet. Knowing our way to the Prophet ﷺ is only with him. And a night like this, inshallah Rahman, we should not be sleeping too much. We should not be busy cooking for hours for tomorrow, eating and drinking. Do some work. Pull yourself out. Make some zikr. Make some tafakkur. Think. At least you're going to say, how am I going to sacrifice my ego? Without sacrificing our ego, we cannot go back to Allah. Impossible. Because our ego is the one that is saying, Ana Rabbul Ala. I am your greatest Lord. Qurban, like what we said before, thousands today, they're being slaughtered because they're Muslims. The Qurban has already been made. And this nation in the last days with so much that they are boasting and bragging about, with so many scholars and imams and sheikhs, with billions and trillions of dollars, with gold that you have everywhere, even on the toilet seat. Muslim leaders are silent, that they cannot even stop this from happening. This didn't happen yesterday. This has been happening every single day since the fall of the Khilafat. Make no mistake. We're asking Allah to make us to be strong ones. Because we are weak, we're asking Allah to forgive us. We're asking Allah to make us to be ready for Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam. We're asking Allah to put justice in our hearts. We're asking Allah to put sincerity in our hearts. We're asking Allah again to forgive us. Ya Rabbi, forgive us. Ya Rabbi, forgive us. Our hands are tied. We're asking you, Ya Rabbi, send that one who is going to change this world. Make us to be ready. Change us, Ya Rabbi, so that we are together with him, Ya Rabbi. May Allah forgive me and bless you. May Allah raise the station of Sultan al-Awliya and SahibulSaif, inshallah. Al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum.